Rolling action.
Welcome to Destiny Hub Foundation, where we have sessions like these. The world is perturbed, institutions are having challenges, societies, communities, individuals. Everybody walks out of that door to find Mr. Right, Mrs. Right, to find the actual suitable partner. But the challenge comes in when things are kind of, not straight. Finding people, mindsets are not easy to define. Personalities are not easy to handle. There are lots of hiccups, that keeps coming up, interruptions. Before you settle with the real person, there is a price. So we're trying to shorten the journey of that price by equipping our people. Ladies and gentlemen out there, this is Destiny Hub, which is mandated with empowering, or rather unleashing that potential of finding your true partner without too much struggle. Equips you, Destiny Hub equips you of what to do, how to equip yourself, how to locate and support that Mrs. Right without wasting resources, wasting motions, and then wasting a lot of money. People are in several relationships, one after the other, some 2, 3, 7 relationships. Still they're not satisfied, they're still looking. Others have given up. We have countries that are having challenges. I was in Botswana, and those one, everywhere you pass, they say marriage is something that will never work under the sun. As a country, imagine. So basically, how do we redeem people's interest to fire up, to know that this thing is workable? Tonight, we're having a good time with Destiny Hub. I have giants on the panel. We have our guest, our special guest, Coach Wafula. Emma. Coach Wafula Emma, it's a pleasure having you on board.
Thank you.
And thanks for honoring our invitation. And then we have Love Coach Lemi Kudu, Pastor Lemi Kudu. He's another genius in this field, very experienced. This is a man who dated his wife for 5 years. Is it workable to date somebody for 5 years today before you really introduce? Throwing your resources, your money, for 5 years, you're not sure whether something is going to work out over there. So that is him. And we just had the other guest the other day who met on the first date, met his partner, and immediately he came with a bunch of pads. He donated pads and a cake, and they had cameras in the background. He was very sure that he was going to be accepted, no rejecting there. And it's amazing. This is a man who buys, on every anniversary of his wedding, he buys a wedding gown, and he has spent 18 years in marriage. Now he has 18 gowns lying there in the house. But welcome to Destiny Hub. Destiny Hub?
Every night has a day.
Destiny Hub?
Every night has a day.
Destiny Hub?
Every night has a day.
That's what we believe, that every night has a day. There are moments that people are experiencing. Whenever you're in challenges, in troubles, that's the moment of darkness. But in every night, there is a day wrapped in there. God hid that day in the night. So whenever you're passing through dark moments, do not lose courage. Take heart, the day is going to break forth. So thank you so much. Tonight we're having a very interesting, intriguing session. The topic of tonight is, it says that how safe is it for every lover or partner to disclose all truths about themselves to their lover? Are you able, as a lady out there, a man out there, can you, whenever you meet your partner on a date, in courtship, are you able to disclose all truths, not just partially, but all truths about you? Whatever went wrong, all your shortcomings, your weaknesses to your partner, or it is wise to keep some information back with you. So basically we're going to be looking at that debate. Just let me turn right here. Thanks, Mr. Lemi Kudu, before I jump to our special guest. What do you say about this take? What's your take towards this?
Well, thank you so much. It's a little bit tricky, but we are all here as different and independent minds. And secondly, love is an experience that someone will get at a personal level. So the question being, would it be safe for you to tell whatever you have or whatever truth you know about yourself to tell to your partner to be. Now, where it becomes a little bit tricky is that, one, we must understand that as we talk or as we say out the truth about us, there are those things that may seem to be good, but there are also those other things that you really need to cover. So as you come out, the question is, how confident am I that the one I'm going to talk to will keep it as a secret? Won't you make it as a weapon to stab me once we part ways?
Okay.
So I think at that point, that's where now people become a little bit careful and naive.
With the
That's,
disseminating information.
yes,
Okay.
that's the reason why last Wednesday,
Yes.
when the man of God was here, Coach Chris,
Coach roadside.
yes, he was telling us that love has to have the ingredient of God.
Okay.
And number two, love is not for kids. It's not experimental. It's
Okay.
not something that you go out and experiment. So that means whatever it takes, you'll do it. He was giving us his experience, whereby he was going to first talk to this girl, and he made a cake, and it was like everything had been planned that day, this girl would accept. Then for me, it was different. I had to keep on pressing for 5 years, and today we are married.
Okay.
So such scenarios, they're a little bit tricky, because how do you know whether after exposing yourself, the truth about you is going to hurt you, as you continue a relationship? So I would suggest that first of all, we involve God. You go into your prayer closet, and God goes before you, such that by the time I go to tell somebody, I already know that God is on my side. And God being God, that means whatever I will speak out, it will be something that will have a backing of God. So I'll just say that it may be good to those who have God, but if you are not so sure that the one that you've told these things, you are not so sure whether you are going to connect, then you would rather reserve yourself and first study the space.
I get your point. Thanks, Pastor Remy Kudu. We wanted to know, because when these two people are meeting on a date, in courtship, as they interact, how much information must someone release? At what time? Because we're talking about finances, we've seen ladies, they want men quickly to declare which car are you driving, where do you stay, who are your relatives, who is your father, you stay from where, from which clan, are you poor, are you rich, you have a house of your own, are you renting, are you inherited, they want to see.
Yeah.
And they want to know. Some of them go as far, which type of soap do you bathe with?
Yeah.
Do you have water in the house, or you fetch water outside? The lady is getting ready to know. Is he going to be, who cooks for you?
Yeah.
What type of food? What type of colors? Your dressing codes, your whatever, your finances. Where do you work? How much do you earn? There's so many questions. All those things, ladies, every lady is like, okay, but they keep digging all those information. Yes.
I think at this point, you see, as human beings grow, there are certain things that I don't know about me until when I reach a certain age.
All right.
The same applies to love or relationship. There's a point in relationship whereby you feel that it's safe to disclose this. Then as the relationship continues, each time, which we call the right time, will require a certain amount of truth about you, until when you reach that level whereby you tell yourself, now I'm ready to expose myself. Someone said, they had been married for more than 50 years. But when the partner died, she came up to say, I didn't know him.
After?
After 50 years.
After 50 years.
Because life is a metamorphosis. There is nothing like, a truth that is cast upon the stone.
Okay.
Truth revolves by circumstances or situations.
Okay.
It's like water. Water can be solid, which is ice. It's the same. The chemical combination is the same. It can become liquid, the same, and it can even turn into gas. So, for me, I think there's that time when you will feel like, you know what, at this point, this is what I am going to tell out. Then, secondly, I think it would be also wise if you are asked. When your partner asks you about something, then you disclose.
Okay.
But if she doesn't, you don't just go out, to tell everything. Yes. So if there is a need for that truth to be uttered out, let it come out. We are talking about the time of dating. Then there'll come that necessary time when people will begin to expose each other.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pastor Levy.
Yes.
Back to our guest. Ladies, when people go out on a date, some ladies have a tendency of, they're good questionnaires actually. When they begin to ask, they feel like there's no tomorrow. There are ladies who bump into you and they start asking, demanding so many answers. You find somebody asking, how many relationships have you been into? For how long? Which one? The first one, what happened? Why did you leave her? What happened? What went wrong? For how long? Where did you find her? In the bar? And where? Do you snore when you sleep? Do you wake up in the night? What time do you wake up? When do you eat your supper? When do you go to bed? Who are your neighbors? Where do you buy stuff from? Where do you shop? How many bathrooms do you have in the house? How many people are staying in the house? Who do you stay with? What is their relationship to you? How related are they to you? If they're friends, how did you meet? Which school did you go to? Why that one? Why did you choose this tribe? I've realized you're having 3 relationships in the same tribe. What's special with that tribe? What is their culture? Then start digging in there. So a bunch of questions keep coming up. Ladies sometimes are very curious and very inquisitive. How much do you earn and all that? Now, is it safe, according to you, or one has to hold some information? Yes.
Oh, I'm so privileged to be here today. Welcome everybody that is watching us. I believe in what we call the process in life. For everything in life has a process. There are some truths that will never be said, but they will be revealed. Why am I talking about that? Pastor Remy was talking about the stage, all the time at which some truths should be said or should be revealed. To me, I go back to how we are wired by God. The God element should not be eliminated in this. Because there are things that your partner can handle and there are things she cannot handle. That is the truth. And even personally, me, there are truths I cannot handle when she tells me about them. That is the fact that most people do not look at. But the best thing is about what I know about humans. You cannot know everything about somebody. It is really hard. The best way to know someone is to know who created him, and that is God. So the God factor should be a determinant of anything that is going to be revealed, any truth that is going to be said. If God tells you no, someone will ask you, can God tell you not to say a certain truth? It is possible when a certain person or your partner is not ready to receive the truth about you. So it is also important to study the temperatures and the atmospheres in a relationship, where some truths can be spoken and other truths can be withheld to the right time.
Right.
Because there is always that right time where the truth will not hurt. But there is always that time where even if you speak the truth, someone may not really may not really get you. Personally, for example, I only dated for 6 days, then I courted.
These are the men now.
Yeah, so there are some things I did not reveal to her. I can't give you all the background, but there are things I did not reveal to her. The greatest thing I had was God. So when I met her, and also her, the greatest thing she had was God. So we moved on. She was like, where do you stay? She was like, where do you work? But that came along the journey when we had already fallen in love. When we had already agreed upon certain things. Already we had agreed. There are truths that I told her immediately. But there are those that only revealed themselves after. For example, one day I met my ex, which I did not tell her about. So when I met her, she was like, do you know this girl? I said, yeah, I know her. She was once my ex. But when we were beginning, I did not tell her why. Because I felt that she could not handle that truth immediately. So it goes back to also how we are wired. We are wired differently. The problem is exporting the strength of a certain relationship or a certain marriage into your marriage. There are things that will never work for me, yet they work for you. And there are things that will never work for her, yet they work for me. So it goes back to understanding each other. It goes back to studying the temperature and the atmosphere of every step of marriage or every step of the relationship. Because, as we have said, she never knew how much I earned. She never knew how much I earned. Yet I had no specific job by that time. And there is no lady you can tell that I don't work and I want to marry you. It's not wise, it's not logical, it's not wisdom. You get it? But I had already fallen in love with her and she had already fallen in love with me. So it is very important to also understand how should I call it, the ups, the downs and all that. Secondly, it is also not wise to tell all truth. As I told you, I go back to the statement that I said, that some truths will not be said, but they will reveal themselves. They will just reveal what? Themselves. Some truths will only reveal themselves as you move along the journey with her or with him. Because some truths are still connected to us. Some truths built us. They built who I am now. So they cannot even hide. But there is a certain point in life that they will come back. They will manifest. Okay. So sometimes God allows them to come when someone is ready to handle a certain truth. Let me give an example. I have a pastor friend who married the wife for some good years. And the wife was like, I don't have any child with me. Yet the wife had children in the village. So time reached when she can no longer support secretly the children that are in the village. So the aunt is like, no, I'm tired of this. Let me take the children to where my daughter does what? Is married from. So what happened? The pastor was not around. The pastor has gone to do other things and he was not home. So what happened? They brought the kids even when the wife is not there. Both of them were not there. But the husband came back earlier than the wife. So the husband is like looking at the kids and they exactly resemble the wife. But this is a marriage that has been lasted for more than 8 years. More than 8 years. And the children resemble, they are the photocopies of the wife. So what the man did, he went and we went to the shop, to the supermarket and the shops, and he made a shopping for the kids. There were 3. So he shopped and he bought new beds, and they set the room for them because they only had one kid. So they had to buy the daycares and all that, and they do shopping so that they can accommodate the other 3 that have come. So this lady comes back when the husband has already
Bought this.
yes, he has already done the shopping.
Before you explain.
Exactly. So this woman also, the wife first goes to the room where the shopping was done, and the room was already set. She comes to the bedroom and she finds this pastor friend of mine. And this is what the pastor friend of mine told her, that if there is any other truth that you're still hiding, bring it out.
Bring it out.
You get it? And this lady tells her they are now over. Because at 8 years in marriage, that is not a genuine reason to divorce or to separate. So as I was telling you that, as we move on, temperatures and because loyalty and trust is built, it is built. It is totally built. It does not just come at once. The more you build the trust in someone, the more the deeper truths will come out of her or him. Because some truths will reveal her past, yet some truths will reveal even his present.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mr.
Maybe, yes.
Pastor Wafula. I'm sure the ladies in this room, if those kids belong to the man, and they were brought,
Yes.
and before the man came back to the house, and the lady found these kids, I'm sure, and they resemble the man. Trust me, you'll find the TV broken, you'll find the cups broken, there'll be hell in the house. That man must have been really very patient. Very patient. And how do you handle the truth? We are looking at all these things. How do you handle the truth when it comes out?
Especially when it's a negative truth.
It's a negative truth?
Yes.
It just, there was no room for explanation. They lived with this person for years, and it just, they slap you, that truth, it bangs in your face like that. It's quite a challenge. Before we take off, tighten our belts and take off, I want to ask this thing. When it comes to falling in love, in the journey, in the science of cultivating to locate the right partner, I see a lot of people being confused. They say, you first pray, and then God speak to you. Should someone first pray and God speak to them? Because there are those who have said that we have prayed and prayed. I've never had a dream that Maria is my wife. Rita is my wife. How do I get to, and I'm confused. I've prayed and prayed. Somebody asks, should they pray, or they look at somebody and feel the science, the chemistry, you know, rather, and then they know, well, I think, begin to try out, this could be the person. What do you support? For people to first pray till God speaks and reveals to them, either through the audible voice or the dream. And how do they tell that this dream is not just their thoughts? How do they distinguish between thoughts and then the devil also, you know, and also God? And then somebody says, am I better off to first go around? And then when I see somebody that appeals to me, that pulls my heart, that charms me up, that makes every vein of me paralyzed, that makes my eyes, you know, dangle, and then makes my temperatures, you know, go high and low, all the time, then I know, I think this could be the person. What's the best way?
To me, God has several ways and different ways he speaks to people. One, for God to tell, sometimes you don't need to dream, because even the devil can give you a dream. What is the main, should I call it, denominator in this is the word of God. The Bible says in Hebrews that the word of God is a double-edged sword. It has the ability to separate the spirit and the soul. And it has the ability to separate the bones from the bone marrows. And it can even tell the intents of the heart. That is why the word of God is very important. It has the power to tell the intents of the heart. So to me, what I think, praying is okay. Praying must be done. But I don't need to wait for a dream that Maria is my wife and I go to Maria. There is what we call God can because love is a divine feeling. Love is purely heavenly. Even the feeling you feel towards somebody, it is God that generates inside of you. Because there are things that I will fall in love for, and there are things you'll never fall in love for. So what God does, when he creates the one that has to be your wife, there is a copy that he puts in you, that when you meet them, you've met yourself. Because marriage is not, love connecting you to marriage is not just having a feeling. It is connected to destinies. It is purely a ministry. It is a destiny thing. It's not just a 1 year, a 2 year, a 10 year, 30 years, something. It is connecting to our destiny. So when God was creating us, that is according to me, when he was wiring us, there are things that he has put in somebody that we shall fall in love with, that I have even a copy with. So when I meet them, sometimes I don't need to dream. I don't need to dream. For example, me, I love brown ladies.
Okay.
You get it? And small ladies and short, maybe. That is me.
Okay.
You get it? So when you come, when you're huge,
you're out of the range.
that is how I am wired,
Yes.
according to God. And even God was so faithful that even the one I met, the one who is my wife now, is like that. Why? Because I have a copy in the spirit. That is why I take you back to the word of God. It has the ability to tell the intents of the heart. Because most people look at, you find some people saying, you don't have to look at the physical beauty. You don't have to look at the physical, but it's also important. They are also important. I will not take something that is not attractive to me.
Okay.
So, yes, I will not take a lady.
When God speaks.
No, God will speak, but God will put those areas of attraction towards you. Because you find some people who are sided that no, as long as God speaks, even if you don't love them, you go with them. To me, it is not applicable. To me, to the God I know, it is not possible. God will always put something in that someone that will always cause an attraction towards her. That is to me. Yes.
Pastor Remy, right now I have somebody, I have a client who is really struggling to make a decision. He's going through counseling. And he's wondering, there are two people in his life. And he got the first one. When he gets the first one could not conceive. It was like the love of his life, but could not conceive. Then 5 years later, after trying out the hospitals and everywhere, they realized that, oh, it's not going to work. So he needed to have a child. So he was on pressure from the family and the community, the society. What's wrong with you? This one is just gonna, did he come to kill mosquitoes? Or did he come to just, fill up the pits and stuff like that? So please, what I have to? They were ready, they were not yet wedded, they had not formalized. So basically, he felt like, okay, I think I need to put things right with God, but I have nothing to tie me with this lady, no kid, no nothing. And then he started seeing somebody. It was just a tryout. It was a one-night stand, and then the other person conceived. So when that second lady conceives, and then gives birth to a bouncing baby boy, and then guess what? The whole clan is happy, yeah! But when we sit down, he says, you know what? You'll be shocked. To me, my heart is pulled with the other lady, who is not bearing a kid. But this one here, again, has gotten a kid. It was just infatuation. To be honest with you, I don't feel the love for her. I don't think she can be the partner. But as time went by, when he kept interacting with the baby, playing with the baby is growing up, love started catching up with him. Now time comes, he's serious with God, he wants to serve God, and he's stuck in this mess. What do I do? Should I compensate the other one to go and remain with this one? And then he says the dreams that he gets, the dreams, he no longer feels the love for the first one, the one without a kid. His heart is with this one with the bouncing whatever now. Now, at the same time when he prays, everywhere he goes, every dream, whenever he lays his head down, the dream that he gets is the other one without the baby. What he's confused. The one he feels that is the will of God, according to the dream, and God, according to the dreams and everything, is the other one. But the love is not there. He's not feeling the love. The guy is confused. The guy is like, what do I do now? What do I do? I want to serve God. I want to put things right. Who do I choose? The one I have love for, God is not speaking. The one I don't have love for, there's a backup. What should I? Should I go with the one I don't have love for? Who is like my sister? Carry on.
It goes back to the beginning. The question is, was he born again, or was he God-fearing by the time he was into that relationship, the first relationship?
Yes, he was, but like
And
you know,
somehow
slid a little bit.
Right.
Yes.
Now, I was reading the Bible, and the Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 3 that when the snake came to Eve, the snake showed Eve the fruit,
Yes.
and she loved the fruit. But after, Eve fell in love with the tree. So, what am I saying? Two things here. There's what we call love and the fruits of love.
Okay.
These are two different things. Love can produce things, but primarily it has to be the love. So if he was in love with the other one and he's going for another one because of pressure, then he was not genuine to himself.
Okay.
The first time he left, he did not leave because he hated the other one, or he did not like the other one. But he left because of pressure from other people. And these people are demanding the fruits of love. They were not demanding for love. It was him that loved the other one. Now, as time went by, he began falling in love with the fruits of love. So that means he was not loving this other woman,
The first fruit.
the second one.
The second one.
Okay.
He was loving the kids that this woman gave birth to. So when God shows him that, you know what, the first one is the one that you should go with, I would totally concur with that. That he should go with the first one. Because,
The question is, Pastor Lemmy,
yes.
the one God is saying go with, you don't have affection, you don't have any love, any feeling for.
But as you're saying, going by your words, you said in the beginning,
Yes.
when it was
Yes.
a one-night stand, when he went with this second one, and she conceived,
Yes.
right? And he was not in love with her
Yes.
until when babies came through.
Yes.
So that means he was not in love with the woman, but he was in love with the babies that this woman gave birth to. Secondly, if you be God-fearing, you cannot go with somebody, you know, and because he has failed to do A, B, C, and D, then you break the trust in there between. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians, I think chapter 7, it talks of relationships, and it says, you who is God-fearing, if you have someone who is not God-fearing, don't leave them. How do you know whether your righteousness will sanctify the other one? So, you will not be genuine if you went out with someone's daughter.
5
Now,
years.
because she does not give birth, which is not her own doing, then you're dropping her because of this someone else. So for me, I would say, this young man has to go with the first one.
Whether there's no love.
No, the love will develop. The
Develop.
love was there.
Okay.
It was
The
there.
love was there. But
So-
now,
It's hidden.
Yes, there.
It is
Okay.
hidden, it's muted because
Yes.
of the pressure around.
Okay.
Sometimes love has to be pure.
Okay.
So sometimes when it's pressurized, you tend to shift goals, posts. So for me, I would say the first one is the right one.
Let me ask, before we get back to the audience,
Yes.
a little bit, let me ask one thing. If somebody is not a Christian, and of course Christians, we believe that you have to have one wife.
Yeah.
And with Muslims, they believe in 4.
Yeah.
But now you're a Christian, you're not a Christian, no, you're not born again yet. And then,
But a Christian.
let me say, the man is a Muslim.
Okay.
This is Yahya or Alamanzan, Akamada. Now, Akamada has 4 women.
Yeah.
And after having 4 women, they give birth. The first one has 4 kids, the other one 3, the other one 2, the other one 5.
Yeah.
Then he finds the gospel. He wants to turn to the Lord, where it says he must maintain one wife.
Yeah.
In that scenario, what does he do? How does he select? Who does he drop? They have kids. They have homes. They're all. Maybe he built one mansion and just separated the doors. 3 bedroom. I know that kind of setting.
Yeah.
In one mansion, under one roof.
Yeah.
These are 4 women. This one 3 kids. 4, 5, 2. Who does he drop and who does he go with?
I would use 2 standards.
Yes.
Humanly, if someone gets born again, for me, what I would do, I would sit down my 4 wives,
Okay.
or the wives that I had, and I would tell them my new belief,
Exactly.
that in this, I'm supposed to have
One.
one of you,
Out of you.
out
Therefore.
of you. Yeah.
Their children are seated
The children
and the
are
women are
seated.
seated.
The women are
You are in the
seated.
sitting room.
Yes.
Carry on.
Number 2, it is not cast on the wall, on the stone, that you should marry. So, if I sat them down
Yes.
and I told them, you know what, I'm born again. If I go with her, I'll be like these other 3,
They will attack you.
not really attacking, but I'll be selfish.
Okay.
It won't be fair. Yeah, that's the word. If I go with her, the other 3 still won't be fair. They will say it won't be fair. So why is it that you don't carry your cross and you tell yourself, you know what?
I'm leaving you, all of you.
I am taking the responsibility,
But not
but I'm not going to do any other thing.
anything. Let me get back.
You see, because at the end of the day,
Yes.
you become selfish. It's like it's all about you. So where do you want these other 3 to go? So if you believe
Drop
Jesus, I know God will respect that decision so much.
Oh.
Destiny Hub. Destiny Hub. Okay, that is Levi Kudu. He says he's seated in the sitting room, a big, huge sitting room with all the children and the wives. He says, my
I
family.
declare celibacy.
I declare celibacy at this point. I don't want fights in this house. I'll provide all your needs. Let's carry on with Coach Wafla.
What if you cannot be without them? That is another question. Because salvation can find you at your youthful time, all your energetic seasons. Whereby even if you declare celibacy, it may not work. To me, what I think, however much, let us say reality. I personally, when I was in school, I've ever had around 3 girlfriends at once.
Okay.
I hope some men, you have ever gone through that.
Yes.
Even ladies here. But there is the one specifically,
You love more.
I will do 2 standards as was telling us, examples. But there is the one you love most than the others. That even if the 2 go, there is the one you cannot live without. So to me, I may use that.
You pick the one you love
Yes, and I keep the responsibilities of the other 3.
what about the reaction of the other three?
Of course, because it's a new belief. It is a system. It is the new system. Because it's a new belief, it has a system. Because when you're born, this is a kingdom.
Yes.
Kingdoms have principles, kingdoms have laws. And the law, one of the principles, you should have one. To me, I would have selected one. But I would prefer still the first one.
Let me first
Yes.
interject a little bit.
Yes.
I want you to understand me very clearly. Follow me very clearly. These 4 women, there's one you love most.
Yes.
But the one you love most is short of certain strength. And you know, God is very interesting. He deposits different strength in different whatever.
Exactly.
There's one you love averagely, but he's very gifted, very hardworking in keeping your money and advising you. You know, with her, with keeping her money, everything, the land titles, the money, the whatever, he's the one who handles it.
Yes.
Whenever you give the one you love most, he has a weakness of squandering it and spending it like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you just know, as a man, you need to have your resources safe, since you have a big family. And so you are banking on the other one you love averagely, because she has a gift in there of securing all these assets. Then secondly, the one that is number 3. Then number 2 has another speciality, that she's very royal. She reads you from far. She's the one who, you know, knows how to calm you down whenever you are stressed, you are perturbed. That's her area. She knows how to kind of reassemble you and assemble you together.
Yes, yes.
She knows how to panel beat you. She knows where to. She knows how to talk to you.
Yes.
Before you know you're back to your senses. The stress is relief. There you know that high blood pressure is far away from you, and you need to live in good health. So you are like, if I'm to live longer, this one. She knows how to put me in the mood. She knows. He said, baby, please don't talk to those ones. But you need to first take a rest. And she nurses you, he nurtures you, she understands you, which is unlikely these others.
The others, yeah.
Now, the one you love most.
Yes.
The one you love most.
She's not clean.
She's not clean. She's not tidy, but she has this voice. She has just this voice. Whenever you're far away, it just calls you home. You just feel like you're coming back home, you know? And you just like her. She has cute eyes, dangling eyes. When you look at like her, you feel like melting. She actually has the ability to stop you from looking on to number 5, number 6. She's the boundary. She's like, if I don't have this one in here, then I'm most likely to go for women, whereby I may bump into diseases. So basically, each of them has the speciality you cannot find in the other.
Okay.
How do you handle? I want you to handle that.
Yes.
Knowing all this, whatever.
And me, what I think and what I know in life, qualities have weights. Qualities have weights. You can find a man who say, I rather be with a woman who loves me so much, she's not too clean. And there are some men who will say, even if I love her, if she's not clean, I want to be with what? With her. So you just weigh the qualities that work for you, specifically for you. To me, that is what I can do. Because qualities, they do not have the same strength. Let me give an example. You find a man, women of this age, they're like, I want an American height, I want a big wallet, what else? I want a doctor, and all that. So you find a businessman who's not learned without any degree, but he has a big wallet, and he fears the Lord. And you find a doctor, he's learned, he's American height, and he's broke. So whom do you go with? You get it? So you just go back to the weighing scale. You say, however much is a doctor, but he's broke.
Allow me to chip in.
Yes, please.
I want to throw it for us to debate about. Because now it is you who is making a decision for other people, plus their children.
Yes.
Where is the opinion of the because it's you who brought them. You've now, for them they would think you've used us, now you want to dump us. Understand?
Exactly.
With my children.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are telling me you've gotten this new belief.
Belief.
So you have the right to choose who you want. Because
They may
of-
actually even say that
Yes.
they may hate God and said, God took away our father.
Uh-huh.
God took away our man. We are now
Yes.
living widows.
Yes.
What kind of God is this?
No, you put conditions that
Yes.
will be even favorable for the children and the wife.
But the thing is, everyone came in as a wife.
Yes.
You have to understand.
Yes.
And each one of us, if they are women, they would say, I would want to remain a wife to my husband. Because there were chances out there.
That
and
I rejected.
I rejected them. I rejected them because of you. Now you are telling me you've gotten this new belief. Now it's giving you the right to choose who you want without using any scenario that is fair to all of us. You understand? So it goes back to us. Where are you going to leave the children? Because with the other one, she's going to remain with the children and they are going to be their father. For these ones, you could remain their father, but the mother does not. You know, she's no longer connected to you. So the question is, how do you handle that? How? It's like having your own cake and you eat it.
Okay, I get you. Now, let me just come to the audience a little bit before we strike back. Audience, now it's up to you. The ball is in your hand. I want you to tell me, just shoot your hand, then the mic comes just to where you are. We want to know if you've been that Hajj with the 4 women, and that's the situation. You have 7 boys and 3 girls in the room with the 4 women, their mothers. You're having this meeting. You must take a decision. What would be your take? Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Destiny. I would like us to take this right from the foundation of our belief as Christians and believers. My name is Fred Okwir. Now, let's look at the perspective of Abraham and Sarah. That was the maid. What happened exactly when Abraham slept with the maid and bore him a child before Sarah did? So if we look at that, we would have where to make decisions from. Much as Abraham came from a polygamous background, when he met God, when God called him out, he had to take a monogamous way of life. Do you think it was very difficult for him to decide and send the second maid away and remain with Sarah? Though Sarah didn't have the children that we could be looking for, but still he chose to stay with her. Because God had promised him a nation out of Sarah, though he didn't see that nation there and then. So there was love in that as well. That goes back to the first question we had, where this man had the wife, then they had the second wife gave him the child before the first wife. He didn't have love for the second wife, but had love for the wife that did not give him the child. You look at that. But still, when we balance all that, we find that love still comes back to this, and the Bible has actually guided us through that. If we look at all that, in the book of Isaiah 34:16, it says, the Lord has spoken, and His Spirit will gather those that, and none will lack a mate.
Let me interject a little bit, Fred.
Yes.
You bring the scenario of Abraham. Abraham is making a decision, battling to make a decision between 2.
Yes.
It's very easy to make a decision between 2 people. And also, he's having the other element of a promise on this woman, Sarah. That is a strong one.
Yes.
It's very easy to say, there's a promise. God spoke to me about Sarah. But now I'm talking about this Hajj. There is a Hajj has come to you. He's having an issue at home. 4 women. And I've displayed the energies and the strength of each woman. You know? And now, you to make a decision. You coming to a scenario where you must choose one. How do you go about that?
The truth of the matter will remain. All of them have their special qualities.
Yes.
Look at, was that Hagar, Abraham's second wife? What was her name? Hagar. She was a very young lady. Didn't she have more quality than Sarah? She must have possessed a lot in her age, compared to Sarah, who was the first wife to Abraham in the house. But Abraham still didn't take the choice of living with her, but still he decided to live with Sarah. Meaning, if you really had that love for your first wife, and you have these 4 in line, you could still do the same. Why? Because you may hold them in the house and you don't know
If
what
it
you're...
were you, who do you dump of the 4?
The first wife I've taken, that was my promise. And that was where my
Or
spirit
you
was.
go back to the first one?
My first wife. Now the rest, I'm not meaning you're going to send them away in despair and in lack and in the God that you've trusted. Like when Abraham was sending away Haggai, God told him,
If the first one is having complications, he's gotten old, he got an accident, he lost all the teeth,
yes,
and the other leg also twisted. He's
yes,
in the wheelchair, he can't function well,
yes,
the duties of a woman. And there are these 3, they're quite fresh. What would you do?
the same thing I've told you in this congregation. You're going to love her. Why? When you took her out of their home, she was that good person that you really loved.
Exactly.
But after all this accident, where are you going to drop her? Who else will come and take her?
All right.
So,
Let me thank you, Fred. Let
Thank
me
you.
give an opportunity to him before I come to you. Yes, please.
I think for me, I'm called Sam.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
Wonderful.
I think for me, I'll take you back a bit because the Haji, I don't know whether the Haji understood salvation.
That is it.
Because when he knows that going to salvation will cost him something, because you're not going to go into salvation, then you want to eat the cake that you picked. Get the point? There is always the price. Christ paid that with his life, right? Now, you are an Aji, you have 4 women. You know, changing your goalpost will lead to pain. That's the responsibility that you have to take, right? That doesn't mean you're going to abandon what? The people that you came along with. I mean, I like the example he gave. Now, you need to choose from the point that God has placed you in. Get a point? Because I am sure the person that you came with is the one definitely you need to work with.
The first one.
I don't know whether it's the first. The person you came with.
I don't understand you. Coming with from where?
Definitely means the first one you came with. You get my point? I mean, I don't want to go to rocket science.
Yeah, because
Well, you see, children, let me shock you again. You see, marriage without children is still a marriage. You know that.
yes.
Right?
Yes.
God ordained that. Children are a gift. So I don't go, children should not be involved in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they are a fruit that God has blessed the man with.
It's a gift.
So they should be put out of. In fact, I will tell them to go out of the room.
But to go out of the
Yes,
room.
they are not part of this.
Then you stay with the 4 women.
Because see,
Yes.
they added to fruits. Anything you're going to decide in a room, it will not affect their future, it will affect their destiny. It is going to be part of you to make sure you fulfill the purpose God has called them for.
Okay.
So now you have shifted.
4 women have
goalposts.
surrounded
Yes,
you.
4 women
They are
surrounded me.
looking
I am no more
at
Haji.
you.
Yes, I am now the assistant pastor
Okay.
of a church.
Okay.
That means I have to follow the principle. I'm in a new kingdom, right? And I'm saying, Sarah, Jude, Jane, I am sorry. You know what? I'm going to go with Sarah because I came with her first. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to leave you alone. No. I'm going to settle all of you because it's a part of my responsibility, right? I am not in a new kingdom. Remember I told you, there's a price you have to pay, right? So people will also have to pay the same price. But you see, you don't need to leave them hanging because the truth is, you will not please everybody. My question, you're not going to walk in your salvation and you want to please everybody. The one person you must know, because God let me room, you're pleasing one person, that is God, that you serve now. And God says, my son, it's time for you to choose.
Thank you so much. Thanks, my brother. All right. Just in 1 minute, let me know.
Yeah, praise the Lord. I'm Joseph, Pastor Joseph.
Yes.
Briefly, before I answer the question that you have fired us, as if we have 2 debating themes. The first one was that how do I relate relationship? Is it true? Is it right to speak out the truth?
All the truth.
Or
yes.
the truth
Yes.
to the one that I'm dating?
Yes.
And then this Haji question will come next.
Yes.
Let me begin with this one. The answer is yes, no.
Okay. Yes, no.
Yes, no.
Okay, go carry on quickly.
Because when I say yes, love, sometimes people say love is blind. Is blind. Because when I date someone, I feel that I should really tell her everything that I may conquer her quickly. Or maybe she can't stagger and look around to stick on me only.
So you tell her the truth?
I tell her the truth so that I may conquer her. Truth.
The truth, what's the truth? You pick the good things.
I speak good thing that
So
you.
what about when you have the other bad things? The bad truth. The bad truth.
Those are bad truths. I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that. Because I'm looking at her that missing this one. Oh my God, I've missed something.
The strategic tools.
So you only pick out the strategic things.
I speak out something that she will look at and say yes.
You have 30 seconds. Tell me the other one. The second one is what?
The other one will come because life is a process.
Okay.
She will discover those herself when I've brought her. That, hey, you didn't tell me this. The example is this one. I myself, I got married to my wife. But the time she went to the church, I'd never known her. But to bring her, she had
A cat.
a cat. I said, hey, Mama, what's
When
this?
she undressed, that is when he saw the cat.
What's
I said, what
this?
is this?
I said, you know, baby,
I had a baby.
I have the because it was because I was producing, and then I felt that the doctor saw that I can't, so they scissored me. I said, what? You have children? I have 4. I said, now, wait. My marriage got broken there, but I.
Just give me a minute.
Yes.
You're going to continue. I just want to wind up in 1 minute. Then the session will be done. Then we'll get back for maybe another 10 minutes or 5 before we whatever. So basically, the whole thing is welcome. This is Destiny Hub. We've been on that session debating whether you have to tell all the truths, you know. And some people are saying, no, you can't release all the truth. It may kill, it may jeopardize your opportunities, you know, of having this lady or that gentleman. So others say no. So there's a balance in there. Others say hold it back. Others say it may be used against you. Anyway, we'll be right back on Saturday on the same topic. Not on the same topic, but something related. We'll be right back on Saturday to accomplish that. It's been nice having all of you. Destiny Hub. Every night has a what? A day. Every night has a what? A day. Thank you so much. See you next Saturday. Welcome. All right. Now, I want you to exhaust your whatever.